It's our time to bring you sport on Pulse here on the JoyNews channel. My name is Hans Mensah and Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Well, there were doubts over the ability to compete properly in the CAF Confederations Cup, but thus far, they've defied all the odds, answered all the questions, and are one step into the group stages of the competition. They beat Coton Sports by 3-2 last weekend, and on Sunday, they play the return encounter. A lot of people will expect that Kotoko will be able to see of Coton Sports and make their way through to the next stage of the competition. Joining me in the studio is Jerome Otri, former editor of Kotoko Express. Thank you very much for joining me, Jerome.
Thanks for the opportunity.
I mean, yes, there were questions about Kotoko's ability to participate even, in the financial sense, but they gave assurances that they had the financial muscle to see through the campaign. Not a lot of people gave them a dog's chance to be able to get through even up until this point. What have you made of their campaign so far?
Well, I think it's very clear that Kotoko knew, the leadership of Kotoko knew what they were doing when critics suggested to them that, look, Ghana football is not in the best of shapes. Kotoko as a team haven't been playing, and on the back of the team's performances in Africa, previously, it wasn't a good decision to put the team in Africa. Right. But if you look at what the team has been able to do, where the team has come that far, it tells me that the management knew what they were doing, and they just stuck to their decision. And where the team finds itself now, everything tells me that if they can just double their efforts on Sunday, they'll be in the list stage, which was the target they set for themselves.
Just how have they been able to do it? Because yes, the fact is that there is no action on the local scene. Yes, even if Kotoko is seeing action, is in friendly encounters, no competitive action, and we know that to be able to compete in these competitions, you need a proper local competition to be able to, really go there and make a loud shout. How have they been able to do it in the atmosphere that we find ourselves in?
I think to a large extent, the team has relied on experience. Experience being that they know what to do. Right. Play friendly matches, train regularly, get to psych the boys, and do the right things. You and I know that traveling across Africa comes with a lot of money.
Absolutely.
Once the money is there, what you need to do is to plan and make sure those plans are working. And that's exactly what they've done. When they announced that they will go to Kenya through Ethiopia, some people were talking, why not go direct? Because the money is there. But that was their plan. They made sure that plan worked to how they wanted it. And see what they did in Kenya. They drew, came back home, they struggled a little, yet was able to get the needed victory to progress. And I, for instance, didn't believe that Kotoko could win in Cameroon. I felt that maybe the West would be a draw for Kotoko. But having gone there to win, it should tell us that something was being done by CAF.
Is it a case of Kotoko being that good, or Coton Sport simply not being good enough?
I don't think we can discredit the fact that Kotoko had some quality players. Some good players in the setup. Right. If you take Felix Anna, who doesn't know that Felix is a very good goalkeeper? If you take Maxwell Bakun, who doesn't know that he has the ability to dribble, to run with the ball, and give accurate passes? And if you check how Kotoko has played, these are some of the boys that have kept the team going. Right. And I think that the team has just been able to identify where their strengths are, and they've utilized those strengths and going forward.
Let's talk about CK Akonnor. Yes, he comes in with a huge pedigree in terms of, being a player himself and what he's been able to achieve on the local scene as a coach. To what extent has he influenced, the Kotoko setup?
CK is a pragmatic coach. If you look at what he has done, when he came in, the target that is set for him was very clear. He understood it, he accepted it, and explained that even though it's quite a huge one, he believes that if they are going to give him the needed support, he will achieve those targets. Now, the first target, which was to get to the league stage of the competition, it's almost, he's close to achieving it, and I believe he will be able to do it. The other ones will be how he'll be able to win the competition in the next 3 or so years. If the pace at which he has started, he will be given the needed support, and the fans will be patient with him. I think Kotoko's problem sometimes has been the impatience of some of the fans.
There's already been skirmishes with Seidu, I think.
And they get so critical that if you're not careful, all your plans will be derailed. And we've seen it happen a lot of times. I am just hoping that the leadership of the club will put their feet down, call the bluff of those supporters. I mean, if they won't do it that way, they should make them understand that whatever CK is doing is a project. They have confidence in him, and they believe that if all of us, I mean, I'm talking about the fans, are able to give him the sort of support he needs, he'll be able to...
How critical is it that Kotoko stick to the plan as far as, you know, CK Akonnor and the ambition to, you know, really properly challenge for the CAF Confederation's Cup is concerned in the next 3 years? How critical is it?
It is very critical. I don't know of any club on this continent that has been able to win any of CAF's competitions just at a go. I mean, when they just came in and they won it. You have to plan, I mean, at the back. There must be some careful thinking, some careful work in the background to ensure that you get to the promised land. What Kotoko has not done, in my opinion, is that anytime there is a setback, everything is dismantled. Absolutely. I mean, the coach is sacked, players are thrown away, the supporters get agitated, and all manner of things come in. If care is not taken, the management setup is even, I mean, disengaged from where they were, and that becomes a problem. I am hoping that irrespective of where Kotoko will reach in this competition, whether it's the league stage, whether it's the semi-final or the final or wherever, there should be some plan to build on from there. If Kotoko can do that, I can tell you that that target of winning the competition in the next 3 years could be achieved.
Right, so the game is on Sunday. There will be live commentary on Joy 99.7 FM. We'll see how any possibility of a shock, Coton Sports coming in and overturning the results.
I have completely ruled that out. Come on, I don't see how that will happen. It shouldn't happen. I mean, people are talking about... It shouldn't happen. Yes, it shouldn't happen.
Can it happen?
Well, because it's football, it's hard to say it can't happen. But I'm saying that given the circumstances around this game, come on, it will be a tragedy.
It's unthinkable. We'll see how it goes for Kumasi. Asante Kotoko, Jerome joining me in the studio, former editor of Kotoko Express. My name is Hans Mensah, and this has been Sports on Pulse.